Places I was never seen. ChatGPT said. The message arrives like a cutting edge. You're not invited to my sister's wedding. The family doesn't want you there. 12 words, sharp enough to sever a decade of dedication. I laugh, not out of amusement, but with a hollow sound that rips apart sorrow, echoing through a home long deprived of warmth. My response is short, my lips twisted into a bitter smile. So, you chose status over loyalty. And then, I begin to unravel everything. The deposit for the vineyard, the photographer I had quietly funded, the custom wine barrels engraved with our family crest, the luxury SUVs reserved for the day, all canceled in an instant. Being unnoticed teaches you how to pull strings without anyone seeing your hands move. I wasn't born into wealth. I was born with the responsibility to create it for those who never bothered to ask how I managed. My parents were absent, ghosts who left me to figure things out on my own. Through sheer discipline, I forged a life for myself, becoming a man who built quiet empires, always necessary, never loud. I met her when I was still soft around the edges, when love meant giving freely, without hesitation. I poured money into her ambitions, patiently listened to her sister's constant doubts, handled her father's shady financial dealings behind the scenes. I became the foundation holding their world together, yet they treated me as if I were invisible. Every slight, every muttered thank you, every seat I was given at the farthest edge of the table. I swallowed it all. I told myself love was endurance, not reward. And that's exactly what they counted on. It started subtly. An email forwarded by mistake. A family chat I was never included in. Then the wedding plans took shape. I became the invisible worker, the errand boy. Her sister, tipsy on rehearsal wine, once scoffed, "Can you imagine him thinking he's one of us?" They thought I didn't hear. But I did. I heard everything. I watched in silence, never confrontational but always aware. When people assume you won't retaliate, they become careless with their poison. They forget that shadows listen. That silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Over time, I became a ghost with intent. I tipped off the venue about the groom's shady finances. They froze the deposit, citing concerns about reputation. I sent proof anonymously. The photographer backed out, citing contract issues under a false name. The SUVs? A word to an insurance contact, and every booking hit unexpected policy snags. I watched their group chats crumble from a clone phone, one I wasn't supposed to have access to. Her father's shell investments shifted into frozen accounts, legally murky, but not outright criminal, just enough to paralyze them. My name wasn't on the invitation, but it was on everything they needed to stay afloat. Funny how they didn't notice the foundation cracking until it started to give way. She asked to meet me in a neutral spot, a riverside cafe, soft jazz blending with a clink of cups. She wore guilt like an expensive perfume, faint yet suffocating. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she said. I stirred my coffee. "It always goes this far. People just assume we won't burn down the house we built." Her lip quivered. "You humiliated me." I leaned in, speaking low. "You erased me." A silence stretched between us, the kind that cleaves a life into two parts. Then I slid a USB drive across the table. "Every payment I made, every secret I kept for your father, every wire, every NDA, every favor." Her face drained of color. "What are you?" "I'm not leaking it," I replied. "But now you know I could." She stared at the table, her eyes filled with either shame or fear. It didn't matter. It was the same. I stood and buttoned my coat. "You built a palace on my back." I stopped carrying it. I didn't go to the wedding. Word is, it was small, cheap, in a hotel lobby after the venue collapsed. Photos snapped on phones. Her sister cried, but not from happiness. Her father called once. I let it ring. Revenge was never my aim. Respect was. When that's out of reach, you settle for peace. Not silence, but freedom. Now, I build for myself. A new firm. My name on the door. A circle so tight it's a single point. In rare moments of stillness, I think about the man I once was, the one who believed loyalty could save him. I rest my hand on his shoulder and whisper, "We're not him anymore."